Gregor Townsend named his team for the remainder of the Six Nations and the Autumn Nations Cup. 40-man squad, couple or 3 debutants. Have a look through the squad. You guys might have to give me some insights into some of the picks. There's a couple of guys to get especially excited about, I would say. And a couple of guys. I've got a pretty short list of guys who maybe have gotten a bit of a snub, but you Scotland fans will have to let me know who else could have been on the radar. But overall, looks like a pretty good squad. And the Scotland team was, two from 4 in the Six Nations prior to lockdown. I think their losses against England and Ireland, none of them were really bad losses, pretty tight games. Hogg with that drop ball over the line against Ireland. Good win against France, who seemed like they were going to go on to a Grand Slam. So, kind of a mixed bag. You still feel like, given the talent which is in this squad, maybe still a bit underperforming, but I don't know, maybe my expectations are just a bit too high. There's just seems to be chocolate talent in many positions. But anyway, forwards, you got Simon Bergen, Jamie Batty, Xander Ferguson, Ollie Kebble, Willem Nell, and Rory Sutherland. Those are your props. I had a quick look at the minutes the guys were getting before the lockdown, and it was Sutherland and Ferguson getting the majority of the minutes. And from memory, weren't they demolishing people at scrum time? I seem to remember both those guys, or am I thinking of Pro 14 games? But I seem to remember both Ferguson and Sutherland absolute monsters at scrum time. I think Nell and Bergen were the other guys to get some minutes, but the majority of the lion's share was Sutherland and Ferguson. You'd have to be pretty happy with both of those guys. I never knew Sutherland was 28 years old. He's only got 7 caps. But he seems like a bit of a monster at scrum time from what I've seen of him of recently. Anyway, Ollie Kebble is your debutant. I think he's just qualified on residency. So he gets an immediate call-up. So congratulations to him. Fraser Brown, Stuart McAnally, and George Turner are the hookers. I think most of the minutes were between McAnally and Brown, which seems to be the way it's gone for goodness knows how many years now. Both those guys very experienced, reliable players. So, you got George Turner there as well. So, you have to be pretty happy with that, I would have thought. Locks, you got Cummings, Gilchrist, Johnny Gray, Richie Gray, Ben Toulis, Sam Skinner, Rob Harley. Does he fit into lock or loose forward? I don't watch enough Northern Hemisphere rugby to fit him into one or the other. Pretty sure I've seen him play both. But I think when I looked at the minutes, there was a bit of rotation going on from memory. I don't think Johnny Gray played in the first 2 losses, but not in the 2 wins, which seemed weird because he's just a tackling machine, and they always seem a better side when he's in the game. But from memory, he didn't play in the 2 wins. Him, Cummings, and Toulis were your 3 guys getting the majority of the minutes. Sam Skinner and Grant Gilchrist also got a few. Great to see Richie Gray back. I haven't seen him play for Scotland for what seems like forever, basically. But it's a good mix. Good mix of some proper tall timber and some guys who are athletic around the park. Blair Cowan, Cornell Dupree, Nick Hanning, Matt Ferguson, Blade Thompson, Jamie Ritchie, Hamish Watson. Is it just going to be Richie Watson and one other? Magnus Bradbury was the other guy who I was thinking of, but I didn't see him on the injury list, and he was one of your main guys in the Six Nations prior to lockdown, so he's an interesting omission. I forgot to mention Alan Dell as well from the props. He seems to also be on the outer. I do have a soft spot for him, but from memory, his round the park work, from when I've seen him, seems to be better than his scrummaging, which is not generally why you pick props, whereas you look at Sutherland and Ferguson, those guys are just scrummagers. But anyway, you got heaps of options in the looses. I mean, Blade Thompson from when I haven't seen him much since he's moved up north, but when he was playing for the Canes, big loose forward, great with the line-out ball, which is not a talent that every loosey has. I mean, Watson and Ritchie are just magic. Watson, I picked him in a potential mock Lions 15, and people gave me absolute grief about it, and I don't know why, man, because he's so good. He's just amazing. Tackles like a demon, gets turnovers. What more do you want? I don't understand. But anyway, maybe it's because he's Scottish. People give him stick, and they say he's not as good as Curry. He had better numbers than Curry in the Six Nations prior to lockdown. But anyway, we won't go there. That's maybe people being a bit partisan. But anyway, Blair Cowan, man, when the hell was the last time he played for Scotland? I had to look him up, man, because I couldn't remember him. It's been that long. But yeah, that's a bit of a left field one, isn't it? I don't know. Someone will have to explain that one to me. The other guys, I think, all got minutes in the Six Nations apart from Blade Thompson. But like I said, it was mostly Jamie Ritchie, Hamish Watson, Nick Hanning. I think Magnus Bradbury was up there. Dupree and Matt Ferguson got a handful. But yeah, Blair Cowan. Interesting one. Into the backs, you got George Horn, Ali Price, and Scott Steele. Scott Steele's an uncapped guy from Harlequins. I don't know how much I've seen him play, but he's an interesting call-up. Ali Price had more minutes than George Horn prior to lockdown. Has he got his hands on the number 9 jersey? You guys watching the Scottish teams will have to kind of give me some insights into who's in better form there. Where it does get kind of exciting is the fact that bloody Finn Russell is finally back after being out in the wilderness prior to lockdown. I mean, I like Adam Hastings, and I remember previewing the squad saying, I hope that guy gets some more minutes, but I didn't mean I don't want to see Finn Russell playing at all. But yeah, Adam Hastings is there. He was your guy prior to lockdown. Duncan Weir got like 2 minutes prior to the lockdown in the Six Nations, but Finn Russell, he'll get his 50th cap if he gets a game. You got to have him playing, man. You just have to. As much as I like Adam Hastings, if you got the option of Finn Russell, surely you play the Finn Russell. You've also got James Lang there as well. Apparently he has 2 caps for Scotland, which I did not remember. I had to look it up, and apparently it was that tour of America. I think you guys played Canada, America, Argentina in that last game. All I remember is playing Canada and you guys getting a ton of maul tries. Seemingly. That's all the memory I have of that tour, and a loss to the States. Otherwise, it's a bit of a blur. But I remember it was like a C or even D team that went over to the States. So how has Lang been going? I don't know. 10, 12 cover maybe. But either way, I guess it's a good guy to have around the squad. Midfield, Greg, Harris, Johnson, and Hugh Jones. If he plays Hugh Jones in the midfield, I've seen him playing in different positions recently. But Sam Johnson I really rate. Chris Harris is a pretty big fella. Nick Grigg, so yeah. Is that an area of strength? Hugh Jones is all for, man. He's one of the best in the world. Like I said, Sam Johnson's pretty useful too. Anyway, outside backs, you do have some absolute world beaters. You got Darcy Graham, Stuart Hogg, Damien Hoyland. I don't remember him playing for Scotland, but I've got a shocking memory. Blair Kinghorn's obviously one of my favourites, Sean Maitland. And one guy to get excited about, Duhan van der Merwe is Scottish eligible now, and he's a beast. He's a huge man. He can move for a big man as well. So I'm absolutely keen to see him getting a run. I reckon you guys are pretty blessed with your outside backs, man. You got Darcy Graham. So if you want to go big man, little man, you can go him and Duhan. But you got Sean Maitland, who's pretty bloody consistent. Kinghorn again is one of my favourites. Hogg is captain. He's going to be there at fullback. So yep, heaps and heaps of options. But yeah, certainly a few left field ones that like the picking of Blair Cowan, the dropping of Magnus Bradbury seemingly. James Lang, I'm not sure what role he's going to play. How the midfield lines up doesn't quite maybe look as clear cut as some of the other areas. I saw Rory Hutchinson, Kyle Stain, Brian McGuigan, who all did get some minutes in the Six Nations prior to lockdown, are all unavailable due to injury, which is unfortunate. But overall, I think if you're a Scottish fan, you'd be pretty happy with that squad, right? I don't know. You guys who know the team better than me will have to let us know in the comments where you think the team is looking particularly good, any areas you think maybe not looking so flash. But yeah, we'll see how they go. Given you guys beat France, should be able to beat anybody, right? Anyway, consistency, I guess, will be the key. You guys let me know your thoughts on the squad. How do you think they are going to go? And yeah, I'll talk to you guys again soon. See you later.